Welcome to a world of thrills, a world of drama, of capes and tights, a world where death is a revolving door. Welcome to the Geek Matrix.
That damn phone.
That was the worst timing. That was, you know what that
That's why you
was?
turn it on silent.
That vibration? That was actually Twitch letting me know that we were live.
Perfect.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Geek Matrix DC Comics Review Show, episode number 231.
That's correct.
Woo! I'm getting good at this again. I was going to start the show with saying it's probably better than saying his bong,
Right. Well,
because that's technically illegal over there.
what
But
about Undertaker's bell? We're talking about a post. I know this guy, James, but what's his last name? Can't remember. But he posts Rhea Ripley comments on experiencing the Undertaker's dong in real life. No, that's not the way you think it means.
no.
But it sure as hell reads like it.
Yeah.
Talk about a blackest night. We were just talking about that. That's where that horrible joke came from.
Yeah. And complaining about Brightest Day.
Mhm.
Or at least explaining to Josh why it gets the hate that it does.
I thought it was, but I read all of
enjoyed
the
it.
tie-ins too, and those were good.
I thought the stuff with Green Arrow was really cool.
Swamp
Dead Man
Thing,
was
the
really cool.
Atom,
I
Man.
didn't read all the tie-ins, so I can't comment on Swamp Thing and Atom, but like the others, the two I mentioned, like I ate that shit up.
Gobble, gobble.
But
You say
the actual
tie-ins. Are
main
you talking about Brightest Day or Blackest Night?
Brightest Day?
Brightest
Okay,
Day.
because I want to make a little bit of a distinction here between tie-ins and
And
books
one-shots.
that are part of the not one-shots, books that
Well.
are part of the Brightest Day, I guess,
With the
line
banner.
or initiative. Because there are a few, like with The Flash and Green Arrow, that they're not mini-series. They were like full series. They just had the Brightest Day banner and were tied into some of the mysteries of, Brightest Day with the White Lantern symbol and everything.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I always feel like I have to make that distinction between like these are just regular series. Like they would have done a Barry Allen series, post Blackest Night, regardless of if it had the label or not, as opposed to Rob, correct me if I'm wrong, but were there just like shorter tie-in one-shots or mini-series specifically focused around Blackest Night, or was it just the main weekly series?
Blackest Night or Brightest Day?
Or Brightest Day, I'm sorry.
I don't think there were any minis attached. I think it was just the weekly series, and then a few books had the Brightest Day banner.
Right.
From what I remember, don't quote me.
Yeah, I'd have to double check to make sure, but that was always my impression. Was like these are new series, like ongoing series, as opposed to this is a 3-issue Blackest Night Batman miniseries, which is actually pretty good. Written by Peter Tomasi. Check it out. I don't know why I plugged that like I wrote it, but yeah, I don't know. I'd always felt like I had to make that distinction between the ones that were just intended for that event and ones that were just regular series that kind of tied into the weekly series.
Yeah. I don't even remember what was the stuff with the Atom.
It was I actually got into this a couple of years ago because that mini run was written by Jeff Lemire, very early Jeff Lemire, like 2010. And it basically is just the Atom taking down this organization run by his uncle who disappeared. I can't remember what his name was.
Uncle Paul.
And no. And it was nice try. It felt like it was more trying to because when you read the Giant Size Atom one shot, or no, I'm sorry, the Brightest Day Atom special,
Yeah.
it retells the origin of the atom for like the first time in years, and it kind of felt like, okay, now we're gonna, after Blackest Night and all that stuff, like we're gonna kind of try and reestablish Ray's origin in the present day, and then set up a new mystery by establishing this mystery uncle that he had as a kid who was also really into science, and then he wore this mysterious ring, and then these guys attack Ray's dad, and they also have those rings that he's like, whoa, what's the connection there? But it's pretty cool. It's, from what I remember, it's the Brightest Day Atom special one shot. Then it ran as a backup in Adventure Comics, and then all that wrapped up in Giant Size Atom. It's not collected anywhere, so you gotta fucking hunt that shit down like I did. But it's worth reading.
Yep.
Fair enough.
I think a lot of the stuff was. I mean, Flash got relaunched. We got the Birds of Prey book. There were Emerald Warriors, Generation Lost.
Oh no, Generation
No,
Lost.
yeah.
Search for
Yeah.
Swamp Thing.
That book sucks my chode.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I've never heard you say anything like that before. That was wonderful.
That is awful.
Generation Lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about the Search of Swamp Thing, that 3 issue. That was an interesting story that had a lot of promise, but the
Yeah.
twofold problem with that is that, one, it didn't really have much to do with Brightest Day whatsoever. And two, it happened so late in the fucking game that the following year they relaunched the entire universe anyway. So all that wonder and promise and intrigue of Constantine and Swamp Thing are in the main DC universe now. What else could fucking happen? What are
here's
we
the
gonna
thing,
do with
right?
these characters? And then it's all to shit. Like it didn't fucking matter anyway.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
So they kept aspects of that story through the relaunch and the reboot. So the whole, like, Alec Holland is reborn and is a human again factors in directly to the Swamp Thing series that came out in 2011. But all of the other stuff, like all the other connections they were trying to draw in the DCU, are pretty much wiped away. Well,
Yeah.
in a sense, I don't know, because Superman does show up in that first issue, and he's like, I died and was resurrected too. And you're like, wait, what? But you didn't fight Doomsday. You, like, just came on the scene 3 years ago. That's what you told us.
Yeah.
So, there were some questionable continuity errors, but it should have had a grander purpose. And I guess you could say it kind of did, because at the very least, it set the stage for Swamp Thing to continue to play a bigger role in the DCU moving forward. But in terms of the impact in the pre-Flashpoint universe, yeah, it didn't live up to its potential,
Yeah.
which sucks. But
Like given more time, it might have had a bigger or more lasting impact.
Mhm.
But that was basically it. I don't remember any more appearances for either character up to Flashpoint.
yeah,
Which sucks. But that's
Yeah, fair
that's
enough.
also like there was just so much promise and so much weighing on Brightest Day that it just didn't deliver, and that was really the problem. And not that
Yeah.
the story was bad. The story was very interesting, and a lot of the tie-ins were really cool. It just didn't live up to expectations.
well, it definitely seemed. We just talked about this right before we came on air, but it definitely seemed like a lot of the stuff it was setting up would have continued in future series, but again, because of the reboot, none of that stuff ever came to fruition. Because, like I told Rob, I always got the impression that they were teeing up Deadman, who's kind of like a starring character in Brightest Day, for his own series, or would have continued beyond that into somewhere else. But ultimately, that never really came to be.
No.
Unfortunately.
I'm also wondering what might have happened to Aquaman too, because I'm almost certain that Jeff Johns would have been slated to write Aquaman, regardless of if the reboot had happened or not, like he was with Justice League. So I'm wondering what direction that might have taken, following on some of the brightest day threads had the continuity not been rebooted. I don't know. We'll never know. Will be one of life's greatest mysteries.
I do wonder if maybe the story would have remained unchanged, because reading New 52 Aquaman didn't necessarily feel like they're introducing a new version of the character, but also didn't feel like you need to read years worth of continuity to understand this character. Like, it felt like this is a jumping on point for a character that you might already know.
Well, I'm wondering if it would have touched more on, because they had the whole. To be honest, I don't really remember exactly how much stuff they developed with Jackson Hyde, but I remember that was a pretty big promotional aspect of it, like the new Aqualad.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have factored in more in a series that would have picked up on those threads, as opposed to, not really addressing it at all until years later during Rebirth. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I definitely hear what you're saying in that that relaunch of Aquaman, like a lot of the stuff is kept intact. His marriage with Mera is kept intact. Him being, part of Atlantis for some time, all that stuff is unchanged. But it does make me wonder what other stuff might have remained.
Yeah. I mean, the opening sequence to the first issue is him just being a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where other issues are like reintroducing the fucking character.
God awful blue and white suit. I didn't care what they did with Aquaman.
Yeah, it was a weird one. It's like a topographical map of a hurricane, and I didn't fucking understand.
Nope. Very strange.
Yeah. That could be a whole
for me.
episode.
It was like Blue Superman. It just wasn't right.
Yeah.
Hey, Blue Superman can't be fun.
Yeah. That could really be a whole episode in and of itself. Like,
it really could.
We should do
the Aquaman.
We review Blue Superman issues.
The terrible suits, but also like I was thinking, just the rumors and speculations of books that were to come, but did not end up like being a thing because of the reboot. Because there's a ton of lore around that.
I would love that.
Especially that Young Justice book.
Oh man,
that kept me up at night. Well, that was pretty much just all rumor and like one image of a possible cover that really was just a variant cover to the Supergirl.
Well, speaking of all this comics that we've been talking about, we are here to talk about comics this week. Not Image, but DC. This week we got Batman and Robin 17 and Aquaman number 1. Our honorable mentions that I'll be taking care of in our other show. Batman Dark Patterns number 2 and DC versus Vampires World War V number 6. Keeping a running total on the end of January for our Absolute January show. So far, we will be covering Absolute Superman 3, Absolute Wonder Woman 3, and Absolute Batman number 4. And I would like to take this time to thank our sponsor for their contribution to the show, Cord Industries Pest Control and Beetle Management. You know their slogan. Cord Industries Pest Control and Beetle Management. We give invasive beetles the blues. But tis.
Yeah,
come on.
Shoot those beetles right in the head.
Swing and a miss there, Chief.
I didn't know where you were going with this, and I thought you were like surprising us. And we got a fucking sponsor. And he said Cord Industries. I'm like, oh, this bastard.
Are you not in? I was thinking about bringing back the bad jokes.
Man, I'm all for it. I'll be honest. At first, you said Cord, but for some reason I heard Lord. I thought Maxwell Lord and Blue Beetle. This is a bad combination.
This is a bad combination. Somebody will end up with a bullet in their head.
Yeah.
Just keep Wonder Woman out of there, and nobody's neck will get broken.
One with a bullet in the head, one with a bloody nose.
Right?
The answer will shock you.
Speak. Speaking of shocking, I'm just going to segue this on over to what I saw over on League of Comic Geeks. I was not expecting to see a Stormwatch compendium coming out, and that's what we got. Stormwatch: The Road to the Authority.
Yeah.
Mm,
Somebody
Got a
buy
movie
this for
coming
me.
up. Makes sense.
Can't
great. I keep forgetting that's
wait.
happening.
Yep.
Just tell me if it reprints the Wildcats Wildcats Alien one shot.
No, it is only
Ah,
Stormwatch,
jeez.
the 93 series from 37 to 50, and
Yep.
then the 97 series 1 through 11,
It's so
plus
funny. We were just talking about Warren Ellis.
Stormwatch preview number 1.
Yep. Well,
Also,
that is a great run.
mhm.
Rob, I think you read a little bit of it. I remember a while ago you had gotten that volume.
Yeah.
Worth the money. I'd be interested to see the compendium. I'm not surprised they didn't do the Wildcats Alien one shot. You kind of need to. No, I know it sounds like a joke, but you do kind of need to read it because it is, in a sense, the end of of Stormwatch. This is how a lot of those characters end up. Well, I won't spoil it, but
Dead.
it serves as a catalyst for the transition into Stormwatch Black eventually becoming the Authority. But yeah, I would recommend checking it out.
But that would be
Um,
like an out of continuity story, though, wouldn't it? Or is that in continuity? Because like
I don't
all
know.
those tie-in, all those like
They've mentioned Stormwatch in
small
current
miniseries.
continuity,
Well,
if
No,
I'm not
but
mistaken.
Stormwatch versus Alien though.
yeah, that's the thing. I don't know because I don't even who owns the rights to Alien. Fucking 20th Century Fox.
Who
I
knows?
Do
think
they
so,
always
yeah.
own it?
Which now it's
I think that
Disney.
yeah,
New Line Cinema.
I think that came out in 1998 or 1999.
What, the comic or the
Um,
movie?
no, the comic.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say the movie is like
Oh yeah,
87 or
yeah.
something like that.
So I guess at this time, I'm just looking up the cover. I guess at this time it would have been a co-production or co-publishing production between Wildcats and Dark Horse, who I guess would have owned the publishing rights to Aliens at the time.
Right.
But
Yeah, that makes sense.
well, yeah, I
And
don't
now
know.
it's Marvel.
And now, now it's because Disney owns Fox, which owned Alien.
Alien and Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Alien and Predator, so in my dad's collection, I found Batman, Superman versus Alien and Predator, issue 1 and 2.
Oh, geez.
I heard
But
Batman Predator is actually pretty good.
It
Has like art
is,
from
and
Andy
it's like
Kubert, which is kind of
stupid
wild.
good. I hate gimmick books, but that's one of them that was just awesome.
but I keep seeing mention of it online, and flipping through that really makes me want to read Green Lantern versus Alien.
Mhm.
I didn't even know that was a
I'm
thing.
pretty sure that because I remember seeing some stuff about Kyle Rayner fighting the Xenomorphs.
It's so many crossovers in the '90s. I wish we'd do that more. I don't know what happened. Everyone gets so insulated. It still
Yeah,
happens
yeah.
every now
Have
and
you
then.
taken
but
a stroll down your
Green
local
Lantern versus
toy
Alien.
aisle lately?
Written by Ron
That's
Mars.
where all the crossovers
Yeah.
are happening. Like He-Man and Ninja Turtles are mixing
yeah.
with literally everything.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know.
insane.
I want like what would be a popular media franchise right now? I don't know, I don't know, like Justice League Dark X Black Mirror or something. Just
Oh wow.
I mean, I can't really think of some like a franchise a la Alien or anything like that.
I can think
that
of a
might work
comic
now,
book
but
crossover that'd be
I'm
cool.
just like I wish we'd do more of it because they were so gimmicky, but you got some really good stuff. And like I mentioned, they would have some pretty decent creative teams. The work and the quality may not be that good, but it's surprising that it came out the way it did. So I don't know. I miss that, man. I miss that like I lived it, even though I didn't. But it's fun to go
Well,
through the vault and see all the old crossovers they used to do.
Yeah.
go ahead and leave this page open. I have never read
Or-
Green Lantern versus Aliens before,
even
but I
even
see
just
that
like
it's
it doesn't even have to be media
Yeah, send
properties.
some
They used to
covers.
do so many image crossovers. Like there was a Superman Gen 13 crossover. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that again. Superman Gen 13 with art by Lee Bermejo. I know because I own all 3 issues of it.
Bermejo,
That would
yeah.
never happen now.
oh
Wasn't
no,
there
no.
a Teen Titans or Young Justice crossover with that line as well?
There was a Young Justice Spy Boy crossover. Does anyone even know who Spy Boy is?
I know Robot Boy,
Just like
Astro
oh,
Boy.
man.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say Astro Boy.
Yeah.
I know Arm Fall Off Man. Lightning
Spy Boy was
Lad.
a Peter David book about a boy who's a spy.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Spy Boy.
That
No, I could have
totally
sworn I
tracks.
remember something about when you said Gen 13 wasn't there. Maybe it was even
They had
Marvel.
a
There was
few
like
crossovers.
there was a Gen 13 and Teen Team from a big company crossover.
It might be
X-Men?
Generation X.
Oh, maybe yeah. That's what it is.
Gen 13 turned into a damn TV show too, and it was like
Gen
so
Gen
bad.
13, Gen X. Like, oh yeah, here it is. Art by Arthur Adams. Are you kidding me? That's I'm just like they would never. I don't know. They would never do that anymore.
Mm-mm.
I don't know why.
Well,
I think it's closed off.
we did just have Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a really
I
good
said they'll
book.
throw us a bone.
So, if you're tracking shit of like maybe the past 10 years or so in terms of intercompany comic book crossovers, there's a little crossover universe right now. You've had Justice League interacting with the Power Rangers. You've had Justice League fighting Godzilla and Kong. You've had Power Rangers fighting Godzilla. You've had Ninja Turtles with Batman. You've had Ninja Turtles with Power Rangers.
Justice League with Ruby.
And Justice League
League
with Black
with Ruby.
Hammer, which that was
Black Hammer.
still the one I'm
Oh,
most
that
shocked
was-
by.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, that was kind of really surprising. But I'm waiting for the crossover of Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Justice League, and Godzilla in one book.
No. We need Power Rangers mixing with
Versus
Radiant Black and
Galactus.
Red.
Yes, but I think they
I'm
need to figure out what's going on
still
with the Power Rangers comics first.
fucking shocked that they haven't done any intercompany crossovers with the Radiant Verse. I know it's I know it's
There's-
gimmicky.
Is it
That's
still
what I'm saying.
going?
It's
They
like, I know
are
it's- I know
they
it's
have it set up to do
gimmicky, and
it.
everyone's
It's called
like, oh.
Across the Massive Verse. It's all set up to do it.
Well, yeah, they do the super massive like big cross because I've read those every year and they're usually pretty fun. But I'm talking like just imagine I don't know like a Justice League United super massive crossover. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What is to stop them? And the main like driving force behind that universe, Kyle Higgins, worked at DC for a few years. So it's not like he's a stranger to them. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the holdup is. Maybe Jim Lee's ashamed or something. I was a
Maybe
young man's
Infernal
game.
Girl Red's just
Once
a little
a-
busy.
Once upon a time, I could cross over my beloved Gen 13 and Wildcats with DC, but now the company owns them, so I don't need to do that anymore. So you know what? Let's just forget about it.
Rob, have you read that yet? Like gotten into any of that whatsoever?
You know how many books we just talked about?
The Massive Verse.
I have
Radiant
it
Black
on my
Road
pull
Sun.
list, but I haven't yet.
You can get I don't know what the right word is for it, but it's like a collection of Radiant Black #1, Rogue Sun, Dead Lucky, and Infernal Girl Red,
Okay.
all collected for $10.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so it's
Was that on Humble Bundle?
this I just pulled up directly from Image.
Oh damn. Okay.
and it's a fun read. Kirk brought it to my attention way back when Radiant Black had first come out, before Radiant Red, or I
Yeah.
mean, like any of this stuff got added to it.
Is Radiant
Yeah.
Black still going?
Yeah, no, it's not even that far along. It's funny that the book only came out 4 years ago. Oh, yeah.
As
Okay, so that is longer than I.
the book
Thought.
tracker
But-
I use has issue 30.5 as the latest one, but it's been sitting like that for like a couple months.
Yeah, I think it's on a hiatus right now.
Oh,
They're coming
okay.
in strong throughout this year, if I remember correctly. But yeah, no, it was. I feel like it came on pretty strong. I kind of dropped off around the 20s, so I know I got to definitely get back into it. I don't even know if they started the whole Radiant War that they were teasing, or if that already wrapped up. But I remember enjoying it quite a lot. It reminded me a lot of Invincible, but also just like classic superhero comics in a very
Yeah.
nostalgic way.
Yeah, I gotta take a look at it. It looks really good.
The art is a little wonky in the first few issues. I won't deny it. That nearly threw me off, but the writing is strong enough to support it. And if you can soldier through that, it's a pretty good read, pretty solid read.
Right on. I think I could do it. I've read through worse art.
Yeah, it's good stuff. You read Riley Rosmo and enjoy it, so you should be able to make it through anything.
I somehow got to the end of Dark Knight 3.
Somehow.
Jesus, I read that shit so hard. I could do like 2 pages at a time. Golden Child, my ass.
Yo, speaking of Frank Miller art, though, so I saw it was a Reddit post the other day. He has a variant cover for a Marvel book. I don't remember which one it is. I want to say it's Hulk or Fantastic Four with the thing. It's something, but it's like a dynamic pose shot, and like it. Somebody pointed out it's like the same fucking dynamic jump pose he has for every character, but the coloring is what makes or breaks his art. And it looks like total dog shit when you look at the cover, but then somebody posted another image he drew last year with completely different coloring by Jock, and it actually doesn't look half bad.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think he's
His most
He's also
famous work
mostly-
is solidly colored black.
he's also mostly
Yeah.
inking himself these days,
Yeah.
which definitely shows at his age. Because I think, as with his coloring, Miller's work usually shines best when he has some of his best inkers working with him. So, yeah, I don't know. I commend him for still being committed to drawing, despite
Yeah.
being
horrible for the past 40 years.
sure, whatever. But I was going to say being, a little past his prime, but
Yeah.
like I said, I can still respect it. I will always respect an artist that is still committed to drawing, even if it's not at their best. Even some of the late Jack Kirby stuff wasn't that great. And I
Yeah.
love Jack Kirby.
I will agree with that sentiment as long as Rob Liefeld is not included.
Rob Liefeld will be drawing forever.
Forever.
Be drawing conclusions to how much he sucks.
You, sir, have never read a little book called Youngblood? Because if you had,
I
think you'd change your
haven't,
tone real quick.
but I'm talking about specifically his art. At least like certain, we've all seen the covers. We've all
there's
seen a
some
lot of the
infamous
interiors.
And we've all enjoyed Liefeld's work, even though we're older and know better now.
Have we though? All of us?
Well, I was a teenager when he got popular, so I don't
yeah,
know.
that's fair.
I will say, looking at some of the early X-Force stuff, the anatomy is atrocious, but I don't hate it.
man.
Like, there's something, I don't know, it's because anatomy is important to a degree, but if the art is effective for whatever story it's trying to tell, I can
Mhm.
kind of forgive anatomy that isn't exactly correct.
Like Bishop, for example.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I be petty and bring up an old thing that I thought about just now?
Sure.
Okay. So you're gonna say that, but then some time ago in the past couple of years, you complained about Jorge Jimenez drawing Nightwing with a huge upper torso.
That was not the right context. And also, I think that was just a very awkward looking Nightwing. Because the thing is, even with the weirdly giant proportions of say Cable or what's his fucking name? Shrike, not Shrike. The evil Cable, whose name I'm not remembering.
Wire.
No.
Nathan
Cord.
Summers.
He had like a silver outfit. Whatever.
Hexagonal
Yeah,
Bob.
with
Hexagon.
yeah.
Cable
What was I
Prime.
gonna say? Yeah, with that, like it is awkward out of Strife. That was it.
That's what it was. Son
yeah.
of a bitch. He was a
That's-
cool fucking villain too. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah,
He was
but
cool.
That's the thing, right? Like with a story that is high octane like that and is purely driven by giant action scenes and sometimes straight up rip-offs from George Perez, although he would call it an homage. It works, but I don't know, with an artist that usually is as fluid and dynamic as Jorge, it just looked something about that looked very awkward. Especially when you're comparing it to the
everything else he's
streamlined,
ever drawn.
very slick design of Failsafe. Like it looks like Nightwing is just, I don't know, built like a Lego character or something.
He's related to
So
Big
that's my
Barda.
defense.
Fair enough.
All right, before we get into our other books, let me throw you out a couple of the other things that I saw that were coming out this week that I think people should go and get, and that is King of Atlantis, DC's finest Aquaman collection. It's got a number of books in it, pretty much covering everything in the story, and I didn't write down the price, but I want to say it's $40.
Yeah.
You get a lot of books.
Hang on a second.
You get Adventure Comics 229 through 280,
Yeah, it'll be 40.
282 and 284, Action Comics 272, Detective Comics 293 through 300, World's Finest Comics 125, Showcase 30 through 33, Superman's Girlfriend Lois Lane number 12, and Aquaman 1 through 3. And I really enjoyed that story. Brandon's being awful quiet, so maybe he didn't. But I thought that was
I'm not even sure which
really
story
good.
this is. Also, I was eating chips, so I didn't want to crunch.
Okay, no problem. I don't think I even heard a crunch. And then last but not least, the second trade of the most current Birds of Prey book is out. It's just great. You definitely need to grab the first one. And if you were a big fan, grab this one too. It's only $20. And together, it's going to read even better. That's all the DC commercials I've got.
Hey, y'all remember when Dr. Light wasn't a dirty rapist and had to use a weapon instead of have powers?
Well,
remember the first
Dr.
part, yeah.
Light currently isn't a dirty rapist.
Well, not Kimio, but this motherfucker was.
Fuck him.
This motherfucker still is, technically.
Yeah.
So is Marvel somewhere.
It's funny because I can't speak for that issue, but I remember in Identity Crisis, they were really trying to play up the idea that Dr. Light was a joke. But I remember the issue of the issue of New Teen Titans and this other issue of Justice League of America where he shows up, and he's like, I won't say he's like as menacing as Darkseid, but he's certainly a threat.
Well, that's the thing about that era of comics is most of the Silver Age villains that were about during the Silver Age, that came out during the Silver Age, were thought of as jokes because that was what they were known for, was being campy and awkward and weird.
Quilt,
Yeah, Crazy Quilt,
Condiment
fucking
Man,
Rainbow Raider.
Yeah, exactly.
Dr. Light, Black Hand, and Evil Star somehow all having the same weapon in a way.
That's pretty funny.
Props to the Green Lantern team for coming up with the original tattooed man. That's something I never would have conceived of. I don't know
Right?
where an idea like that comes from.
Yeah. Especially in, I guess he was in the 60s, I think, when he first appeared, because I think it was in the
Yeah.
first 40 or so issues. Tattoos weren't, like, overly thought of in that era, from what I understand as well. Like, obviously,
I don't
they've
know, maybe if you're a
existed for
Marine
fucking
or something.
decades.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, they were saved for, like, certain people, like army guys would have tattoos, like gangs would have tattoos, and that was basically it. The concept of a guy covered in tattoos was pretty much unheard of.
Yeah.
And
That didn't really happen
definitely
until the 80s,
scary
90s.
at the time.
Yeah.
Just
think my
because it
favorite-
did look different.
Like my favorite just random Green Lantern villain who is not a Silver Age villain, but is still a villain that's like, damn, I wish I could have come up with something that ridiculous. Has to be Javelin. I'm just like, where?
Yeah.
How?
This guy.
Guys, I got a great idea. I got a villain, and he throws a javelin, and he flies.
Yeah.
And he's German.
This guy got
He's like,
fourth place
God.
at the Olympics. He's like, fuck
Yep.
it, I'm turning evil now.
Fucking, I'm evil now.
Yeah.
That's so relatable.
Yeah. This damn Russian judge scored me a 2. Fuck that guy. He's
Fuck
dying
that
first.
guy.
I
До свидания, comrade.
I see that, and I'm like, I wish I could be that ridiculous.
Well, it's like Kite Man, you know?
Yeah.
This guy
Hell
throws
yeah.
a javelin, that guy throws a kite, or like flies on a kite. This guy walks around with stilts and robs banks with 5 floors.
But only banks
God,
with 5
Stilt
floors.
Man.
Only banks, yeah. Fucking Stilt Man. I love Stilt Man.
Jesus.
I do love Stilt Man.
Stilt Man, Kite Man, Big Wheel, and Condiment King are like
I'm not even kidding when I say
the
my
Mount Rushmore of campy supervillains.
truly. I'm not even kidding when I say my first Spider-Man villain was Stilt Man. You think I'm
Really?
joking?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Your
The
first
first-
supervillain? The first one you
The
ever read
first
about?
Spider-Man comic I ever bought, not like one that was brought to me by a friend or something. The first one I ever bought, I went to Midtown Comics like 2011, and I picked out the issue, and it was Stilt Man. I could find it. I think it's like Spider-Man 234, and it's got Still Man on the cover, and he's got like Spider-Man dangling, and I was like, "This is it. This is the one. This is the one." And I've held
This
on to
is
that
what
issue
will
for
start my love of
years.
comics.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I gotta find this cover.
Spider-Man 234, you said? ASM? I guess.
Yeah. It might be earlier. 2-3 something.
No, ASM 234 had Will o' the Wisp.
Let's see.
235.
237.
237. Okay.
237.
Oh, yeah.
This is the one.
Featuring the triumphant return of the original Stilt Man. Of course, with the sobering realization that there's more than one Stilt Man.
Yeah. And the best part is like the issue opens and he's like the stilt man, Wilbur, whatever his name is like fucking broke, and he's just complaining about I have had failure after failure. I got my shit kicked by Daredevil and Thor, and then I got my costume stolen from me.
Why do all these banks have to put their money in the basements?
Why couldn't they just put it at the top of a building or something?
Life was simpler back in the day. Money was higher.
Oh man.
What a fucking
Money
concept.
was higher. Jesus.
Can I also say, like, I've always admired about Kite Man the fact that his name is Chuck Brown.
Chuck Brown. Yeah, and he's
The-
constantly
the-
shit
the-
on.
My name.
The
Is some-
perfect Peanuts reference.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
constantly getting the ball yanked out in front of him.
Yep.
What was his son's name?
Kite Man Jr.
Linus.
I was wondering if it was going to be in the Peanuts reference.
No, I actually
no.
don't. I don't know
Actually
if it was. It might have been, but I don't know.
No, it was Pigpen.
Schroeder.
He's from
Anyway.
East-
I want to talk about, and I don't know, like I doubt either of you are reading it, but I just want to bring it up because it kind of popped in my feed recently, and I didn't know it was happening. All new Venom.
Oh,
Oh.
I heard. I have not
Waiting
picked it
for
up
it.
yet.
It's a mystery book.
I heard they were doing that the Thor thing of who is the new Venom. Kinda like they
Yeah.
were doing with who is the new female Thor. Or just Thor.
Yeah, and they have 4 suspects lined up, and the suspects are Madame Mask, who so far in 2 issues has made 1 appearance.
Mhm.
Robbie Robertson, Luke Cage, and Rick Jones.
I hope to God it's Rick Jones.
So do I.
Rick
I
Jones,
really
bitch.
do.
Going through the 2 issues, I'm starting to think it's neither of them.
No.
Or none of them, rather.
I just
No.
want to believe because I know Al Ewing loves Rick Jones as much as I hate that I love him.
Bitch.
Rick Jones, bitch. Venom. It's a hell of a drug. Oh man, guys, it's gonna end up being Eddie. He's come back.
Nah, he's dead.
Oh, in comics,
Yeah.
you're right. That totally means something.
No, he's not. Sorry.
No,
He's
he's
not.
the king of the symbiotes, right? The symbiotes right now, right?
I think that's ended. I stopped reading Venom, but I kind of flipped through the end of King in Black to figure out. Not King in Black. Venom.
Did you
War.
read Venom War?
No, because I dropped Venom because I was getting fucking
Yeah.
tired of the back and forth of what the hell's going on between Eddie and Dylan. It was taking.
I was
too long
hoping you
after
could help
20
me
issues.
catch up because I did not read Venom War.
I flipped through the last issue of Venom War so I could understand what the fuck was going on, and it ended. If you want spoilers, if you don't, fast forward like 30 seconds. It ended with the symbiote, the Venom symbiote, had gotten a golden upgrade from Loki somehow in Jotunheim,
Okay.
which saved it from the zombiotes or some kind of necrospear and stopped an infection. But I guess the infection still happened, and the Venom symbiote cast Dylan out of him to save him from it because Dylan's part symbiote, and then it ran away. And then Eddie, who was bleeding out, basically dead, went to a church to just sit there and die, and was found by the Carnage symbiote, who was also dying, and posed the question like, "We're both dying.
Like a
I need a
reference.
host. How about we mix minds?" You know what I'm saying? And that was the last time we saw Eddie. And then it says next issue, all new Venom, #1, and it's Venom where all the white parts on him, the eyes and the spider and the things on the hands are all gold. And that's all you know so far. And at some point, Mary Jane found Dylan, and Dylan is staying with Mary Jane. And
There you go.
And what's it, Paul?
It definitely is Rick Jones. Because
I
he's
really
in
hope
love
so.
with Mary Jane. Never be the same.
Oh, that's the same Mary Jane.
He said enough.
Actually, I'll say this: if you absolutely hated Zeb Wells' Spider-Man, read All New Venom just for vindication from Al Ewing.
I saw a panel on Instagram the other day. I think I know the one you're talking about.
Dylan just ripping Paul to shreds. It's fantastic. Like Mary Jane and Paul go into the bedroom to have a conversation, and Dylan's like, "Are you two fighting? Break up already."
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
They run out of gimmicks.
I don't know. They got her in a fucking superhero costume now.
Like I said, once they run out of gimmicks.
I didn't read too much into the whole jackpot thing, but like
Ching.
that whole concept is really fucking dumb.
It's Silver Sable.
Like
That's the new Venom.
she spins a slot machine on her wrist, and whatever comes up, the three symbols, gives her a new superpower. But apparently, if she spins it and then gets three skulls, she just dies. Why the fuck would you do that?
It's like a more stupid version of the hero dial, just without the chance and possibility of death.
It's so dumb. Why would you
Or
ever
what's her face
go out and risk your life?
from Doom Patrol, the bad guy. Damn it.
The quiz.
Yes.
Every power you've never heard of.
Yep.
Right.
Milk.
That was a fucking interesting
Psychically controlled milk. Oh man. Sorry. That was a Misfits reference.
Every time I hear Misfits, I just think of that one episode where they had Robert Cheyenne talk about Fisherman's Friend.
I think of two things. It's always screw you, Barry, and it's your fucking Uncle Rudy.
God, it was such a good show.
It really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Anywho,
And anyhow,
sun's getting real low.
all right, we should probably talk about some comics then.
Yeah, we've been doing this for 47 minutes. And here before the show, I said, I got nothing to talk about. I have no news, no topics. So there's going to be a short show. And here we are, 47 minutes
something
in.
to talk about.
We're just talking about random stories and shitty artists. I love it.
Speaking of the things that we've been reading, I have last night actually, read the first 2 issues of Uncanny X-Men.
Right.
Ooh.
Holy shit.
Yeah, right? It's fucking good.
It's good.
Really? Internet hates that book right now.
Well, that figures.
Wait,
the internet
what?
never knows anything except
does
to hate
that-
Hulk
hate that
Hogan.
book?
Well, it's
Yeah.
I think it's mostly just people who are still upset with the end of the Krakoa era, and people who are rightfully so, and people who are frustrated with some of the characterizations. Always seems to be a point of contention among comic fans.
I didn't see
I'm
any
one of
problems
those,
with it.
but I haven't been reading in years, so I'm fine.
Yeah,
with
well,
it.
I saw some
Rogue's new power
some
set I don't know
controversy on
anything
the-
about, but
the recent crossover they did, the Road to Grey Malkin, and I
Right.
saw a comment that was like, "This book is." I gotta find it because I feel like it perfectly sums up the approach, which I don't think is bad, in trying to be more new reader friendly, but at the same time has managed to alienate quite a bit of its audience. So I don't know what the fuck's going on with X-Men anymore. Felt like at one point they had their shit together, and then everything just went completely off the rails.
I mean, it's not like it's necessarily a bad story. I think I'm gonna chalk it up to comparison bias. And I'm gonna bring up like Jeff Johns' Green Lantern as well. Everybody fucking hated the follow-up after Jeff Johns' Green Lantern because we had 10 years of fucking greatness, and now we're getting the next guy, and it's kind of subpar in comparison. You go back and read those issues now, everything past Jeff Johns, you're like, this actually wasn't that bad. But that at the time, like
he said, "Ha!"
I say hot because that's a little bit of cap, but continue.
I mean, there was some stuff that was stupid still, yes, but like
We need to
it's not
talk
as
about
bad as we
Lights
thought.
Out.
Look, Relic, Relic had good bones. Ultimately, horrible, like finish, but an interesting premise. I'll give it that.
But yes, I do hear what you're saying. And I do
Yeah,
think
like
that's definitely true. Because I
comparing it to
think that
Coca-Cola is not fair.
there were a lot of people who were frustrated, again, rightfully so, that it was essentially just a back to basics approach. And they're just like, I thought we were moving forward, now we're moving backward. But I don't think that is the only reason that you should completely criticize a series is just like, oh, it's just sliding backwards again. If it's a good story, it's a good story, regardless of
Yeah,
how it gets there. But um, I myself read, what was that arc called? The Outsiders? Um, the first arc of this recent Uncanny X-Men, and I thought it was just fine. Nothing spectacular, but
yeah,
fine.
and it is kind of like almost a reintroduction to people about these characters, whether you're a new reader or old reader. It's a setup story. It's bringing these characters back and like giving them a reason to be together again and reintroducing people to what they've been doing and where they've been.
Yeah.
Right. I thought it was cool. I got to catch up though. I'm behind on all the X books I'm reading.
Yeah, I was really just reading X-Men, Uncanny, and trying to get into Wolverine, but I'm behind on that.
I do
But,
recommend X Factor. It's a bit of a slow read, but it's a lot of fun. Especially if you like stuff like Agents of Atlas or Next Wave, it's going to be right up your alley.
I'm waiting for that one, mostly because I'm afraid of setting my expectations too high because I know it's Mark Russell, so I'm expecting the whole satire thing. But
there's
at
a
the
lot of
same
satire.
time, at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to put it on a pedestal too high, and then I read it and I'm disappointed. So
Yeah,
I don't know
will
what issue it's
say
on right now.
it reads kind of awkward because as much as it has some comedy in it, it also takes itself really seriously at the same time.
Okay.
It's like a dramedy in a way.
Yeah.
But the drama is like comic book X-Men drama, so it's really feels heavier than it actually is. Yeah. It's something to experience. I like it.
That's good. I'm glad it has the Rob seal of approval.
I mean, you can't
whatever
go
that
wrong
looks like.
With green at least. Whatever a book about a government sanctioned mutant team led by Angel looks like.
It looks like Dark X-Men.
Complete with
Is that the
mutants
first
you've never heard of.
Is it the first time that's been a plot line?
I don't
know.
think so.
I wasn't a fucking Extreme X-Men like that, or am I tripping?
Probably. I don't remember now. But I'll say this: my new favorite mutant since Kid Omega showed up is in X Factor.
Oh hell yeah!
Granny something, I can't remember her name. She's like an 80-year-old woman and her mutant gene awakened and she found out she can't die.
Yeah. That's disturbing, but cool.
She spends every mission trying to die. But
guys,
I digress.
Do I want to read
yes.
Shadow of the Green Goblin?
Which one is that?
You can't go wrong with DeMatteis, but I haven't heard much chatter about it, so I can't say whether it's just like completely under the radar or if it's not that good. I'd say you just gotta have to check it out for yourself.
I'm gonna do it.
Trying to remember which story that is.
I'm not sure. couldn't tell you. I haven't read it. That's why I was asking.
Hmm.
I think it's currently coming out or something. Maybe it might
Well,
be.
I mean, I see a trade available.
Published
That's
April
what I'm
3rd,
looking at.
2024. Oh, so it's like
It's a trade paperback. It's
like
a
a
collection of
like a
books.
retcon story in a way. It looks like
yeah.
because it takes place in the past.
Yeah, I mean, the cover says that it introduces new canon. So
Yeah,
be interested in seeing what it's
Yeah,
all about.
I never read this one, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because like I wanna say that's a series that I definitely would have checked out just because DeMatteis wrote one of the best Spider-Man runs of all time.
Yeah,
But I read that Scarlet Spider, Ben Riley Scarlet Spider
Uh-huh.
miniseries he did a couple years ago. It was not that good. It's just okay. So I don't know. Maybe he's lost his touch, but
It's
or maybe
worth
it was
checking out,
different
right?
conditions with Ben Riley. But yeah, I would say it's worth checking out just to see what
Yeah.
it's all about.
Then that is what I shall do, and then what we
Wait,
shall do is
Wait, one last thing. There was one more
Uh-oh.
book I was going to bring up and I forgot. Ultimate Black Panther number 12 came out this week. Have you guys read it?
No, I
am
am
not.
5 issues behind on Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
Is it
Fair
epic? Good? Will it make me mad?
It won't make you mad.
Okay.
I liked it. It's not epic. I'll say that. Yeah. It's they I'm trying to I don't want to spoil anything, but like they're still telling story is what I'll say.
Good.
There hasn't been a massive fight yet.
So who's complaining about how slow it's going then?
Oh, lots of people on the internet.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
Dummies.
Yeah. You can't just have a story be a story. Like I'll say on one hand, every issue goes by super fucking quick, and then I get to the end, I'm like, what happened? The last 3 issues felt like the same issue.
Yow.
Yeah.
That
They all start kind of the same, and not much happens in between. But I'm still enjoying it. Yeah. It's coming to a head soon enough, I'm sure.
I've been so checked out of all the comic stuff in the past couple days, so I gotta catch up.
You caught up to Ultimate Spider-Man, though, right?
Oh yeah.
How
That's what I consistently will try to read month to
that-
month, unless something happens.
that Christmas issue, though? Holy shit!
I know. Damn.
That end.
That
gave me
last page
chills.
reveal. God damn.
Yeah.
Well, not even. I guess that wasn't the last page, but like right before
the
the last
second
page.
last page. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like,
Well,
Peter, is that you?
That's don't shh. That's the only. That's the next one for me to read. Shush.
The next issue or the next book?
The next issue.
Oh,
Are you
dude,
caught up
what?
to that point?
To the Christmas issue?
issue
I
12.
mean, that's issue 12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on
Ultimate Spider-Man.
yes.
Okay.
That's the next issue for me to read. Yeah.
Okay. I have
yeah.
a question for you.
Okay.
It's been out for 3 weeks. Why haven't you read it yet?
I haven't gotten the opportunity.
Next time you want to play Marvel Rivals, put a pause.
I was about to say, I was like, maybe
And-
if you play.
You would
Embarrassing.
be hating
Super
Spider-Man in
Bowl.
a game than reading Spider-Man in a book.
You guys have been trying to get me to play a okay, fair enough. Can't even.
Like, next time I say Marvel Rivals, just say, no, I'm reading Ultimate Spider-Man. I will say, okay, I completely understand, Josh. I will give you 10 minutes.
Fair enough.
Anywho, We hit the
right?
hour mark now. I've said my piece. I'm done.
Are you sure?
No,
I,
but
I, I don't want you to feel like you've been cut off. All right. Well, then I
oh
do.
wait, shit. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Ah,
I'm joking.
oh,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
damn it. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, Cord Industries aside, we are going to take a break for a commercial and we shall be right back. Ta-da, we're back. Yay! Oh, such a long wait for the streaming crowd. Which we are available on YouTube and Twitch, live stream every show, just so that everyone out there listening on whatever favorite podcast platform that you're listening on, you can also watch us live as well.
Mhm. Every Thursday.
And every Thursday at 5, but really probably 5:30.
5 with an asterisk.
Oh boy. And kind of speaking of asterisks, I put an asterisk next to Robin when I mentioned Damian Wayne. Because I think he's Damian.
The book is not called Batman and Damian. It's called Batman and Robin.
Number
Just
17, reviewed by Brandon.
Don't even humor him at this point. It's like you're just gonna dig a bigger hole.
I am fucking ready for the last page. Okay?
Damn
I am so ready.
it. All
All right. Batman and Robin, number 17, Memento Part Trace. Oh, excuse me, Part Quattro. Written by Philip Kennedy Johnson with art from Javi Fernandez, with additional pages on pages 1 through 3 and 16 by Carmine Di Giandomenico, colors from Marcelo Maiolo, and the letters from Steve Wands. Book opens with a brief flashback to the London Memento crime case that we have seen peppered throughout the story so far, and sees Bruce and Lautrec kind of getting to know each other a little bit, but more Lautrec prodding at Bruce's origin and asking, why the hell are you here? You're clearly not like some down on his luck, average guy looking to get stronger or learn more about detective work. You come from privilege, and I want to know why you're here. But that question goes unanswered as they see their current mentor, Professor Bly, going into the scene where they believe Memento to be. So Bruce, aka Young Jack, rushes in there, even though Lautrec is telling him to hold back. But that's in the past. We cut to the present at Arkham Tower, where Batman and Lautrec are currently trying to evacuate the area while also making sure they get Scarecrow to safety so they can continue to interrogate him about Memento. Batman basically tells Lautrec to get to the panic room while he tries to confront Memento or something like that. And that is when the hallucinogens kick in. And Batman has a real "these edibles ain't shit" moment just as he starts to peek and see some very horrible, horrific scenery, which, of course, having dealt with Scarecrow fear toxin for years, tries to convince himself that it's really not that bad, but ultimately the fear begins to overtake him. But we'll let Bruce deal with that for the moment as we cut over to Sacred Heart Medical Center, where Damian is checking in on the young girl, Emma, who was injured way back in the start of this arc, and has a little conversation with Dr. Bashar, just kind of explaining his own feelings and how Dr. Bashar knows that Bruce would be proud of him, even if he isn't great at expressing it. But Damien gets the signal, some kind of signal, that Bruce is in trouble or that he needs to go to wherever Bruce is. And we cut back to Arkham Tower, where the hallucinations are getting fiercer and fiercer. The Trek has managed to get everyone, or at least a few people, into the safe room, including Crane, who is losing his mind from the Gravedigger's Poppy, and informs them that the hallucinations are not hallucinations, but are in fact real. Something that Batman is trying to grapple with as the visions get worse and worse and worse, and seemingly looks like he falls out of a window, although the hallucinations kind of make it a little unclear. But we see Damian kind of swing to the rescue just at the right time and get him into the Batmobile as his mind is swinging back and forth between past and present. We cut back to the moment where he had confronted both Memento and Professor Bly, who was about to shoot Memento. And Bly is begging Memento to spare Bruce just as he wakes up on the floor of the Batcave while Damian is reading more of Thomas's old journals. Bruce is, of course, furious because Damian was not there when he was supposed to be, even though Damian has a legitimate reason trying to help people, which seems a little out of pocket for Bruce. But Damian decides, fuck this, I'm just going to go out on my own, and like rides off, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to meet up with Gordon and Lautrec. You can stay here and rest or die for all I care. I know it doesn't actually say that, but Bruce, of course, furious and stubborn as hell, decides to suit up anyway and heads out, much to Oracle's chagrin. And we cut over to Robin's meeting with Lautrec and Damian. At first, Lautrec is obviously suspicious of Batman working with the fucking kid. But after hearing him say something that reminds her of a phrase that we saw uttered at the beginning of this issue by Bruce, she, at the very least, begins to trust and want to work with Robin. As we cut back to Batman, who is frustrated and doesn't really want to work with anyone, despite the fact that Oracle called in none other than Mr. Jason Todd, Red Hood, who is going to be helping Batman with his casework tonight, with a pretty sick-looking splash page at the end. And that's where our issue comes to an end. I'm continuing to love the story. I'm continuing to love the focus, again, on Bruce and Damian's relationship and kind of the ways that they have differed over time. And I know we've gotten to a point where they are on good terms, and I continue to believe that they are on good terms, even if they were, bickering in this issue. But one of the things that I've really noticed throughout the past issues is that Damian has taken on that more humane side that we've seen in instances in the past. But what I think differentiates it here is that, Damian really is trying to take an active role in helping and saving people as opposed to just stopping crime, and hoping that that will be a deterrent to, saving lives. So I
Getting
appreciate
a little Nightwing up in his business.
Yeah. At the very least, trying to be more inspirational, although he has not inherited any millions from Alfred Pennyworth yet, but or billions, I should say. But yeah, no, I think the heart of this series, like the Memento mystery, is really cool, and I have no idea where it is going to go or what direction it will take. But for me, the shining point, the axis of the series, really continues to be the relationship between Bruce and Damian, which obviously was a factor in the previous run, but I feel like we're getting more into it. I don't know. Like I enjoyed some of the Williamson stuff, but I could admit there were aspects of it that maybe didn't go quite as deep as we're getting here. So yeah, that's just a consistently enjoyable, great, exciting, gripping, fantastic read with some really stellar art from Javi Fernandez. So 8.25 out of 10 for me.
Hell yeah, man. Rob, did you want to go first?
Yeah, I can jump in. I was also going to make a Damian Nightwing comparison because in this issue, Damian takes a page from his older brother and says, "Fuck Batman."
Don't remind Brandon of that.
No, this was almost a very heartfelt issue, at least for Damian. Bruce on some fucking psychedelic trips, and Damian being the bigger person in this scenario. It was a very interesting dynamic. Yeah.
I want what he's on.
It was a very interesting dynamic to read that interaction between the two, where the roles almost switched in a way where Damian seemed the more mature, experienced, like caring one, and Bruce was the very very like, no, I can do this. You don't have to tell me what to do. I know what I'm doing, kind of deal.
Look what I can do.
Okay, Stuart. Fuck, I miss Matt.
Get off of the nog-eye.
But Mama said I could do. Oh my god! Don't get me started. Anyway, I wonder if that kind of dynamic is going to continue, or if that's only for this story arc. This being the first PKJ story arc, it's a dynamic I like. It's making me very excited to see what else he has in store for this pairing of Batman and Robin. That brings me to the last page of this issue. Josh, I demand vindication, because this book is called Batman and Robin, and at the end, Batman is teamed up with Red Hood, a Robin.
Non-Robin. So it's totally okay.
Your
Precedence has been set with Damian.
Oh my God.
I'm just giving you guys
Damian's a Robin.
shit as of now. There was something
I
that
love to give shit back.
there was something that popped up a little over a month ago in Discord.
Okay.
And I'll be damned if I can remember what it was, but I had to stand down to the two of you because if I'm not mistaken, Brandon was the one that landed the nail in my coffin.
Oh
And,
boy.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I think Brandon came
I
with
don't
receipts.
remember what I said, but I like being right.
Oh man, but
It's like
yeah,
your catchphrase
so
at this point. It's okay to be wrong.
it's okay to be wrong.
Is there a greater feeling than being right? I don't think so.
I don't think
At least not for me.
No.
The validation you feel when you're right is like it's better than anything. in this
Especially
world.
when you're having an argument with somebody and they come in with a debate topic, or they come up with a point, and you're just like, oh, buddy, all right, I got facts, figures, charts, slide sheets. Let's fucking go. Sit down. Shut up.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, let's go.
That feeling when you know you're about to win a debate and end a whole man's career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, what was
What was your score?
I'm going to give it an 8.75
Hell yeah.
out of 10.
Okay. Obviously Damon will not stop being a hero. But in this story, okay. PKJ is my kind of writer, I mean. He really knows how to set things up. He's excellent with pace. He's excellent with dialogue. Now, contrary to a lot of other writers, he has one other defining trait, and that is when he leaves a book, the characters within it have changed. Every single time. They have evolved as a character. Superman, during the whole Warworld saga, everybody walked out of that different. Green Lantern too. And I think when he's done with this book, we will be looking at a brand new version of Damian. I have no idea what that might look like. I do know it's still going to be Damian, and it's still going to be Damian fighting as a hero, but I believe definitely going to be all the way past Damian with a T. If you know what I mean. We're gonna be at fully mature, moved past the childish Damian stuff. I think
Definitely
we're
past the mature, but I don't know. I think because Damien has that kind of quality of being a little bit short with people, not necessarily rude, but just having that kind of like superiority attitude. I think there will always be some mannerisms that will never go away, and that is so iconic. I just can't imagine it ever being completely folded away.
No,
Yeah,
I'm,
like
I'm
you can
with
be
there.
mature and arrogant at the same time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Think you
Yeah.
may. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, he's back.
I'm back. My
They-
mute wouldn't come off of mute while I was coughing. But
It might
yeah,
also depend on the people. Like when it comes to Bat Family, he'll be mature, family oriented, like nice guy, Damian Wayne. And then if he's ever with like the Teen Titans, he'll be like, "You're not listening to me again. What's wrong with you?" Right?
time to
Lackeys.
start kidnapping bad guys.
Lackeys, simpletons. Is it time for Damien to start another team? Is it gonna
Yes.
happen again?
Yes.
I think so. I think Damien is gonna start up his own team. I don't think it's gonna happen for probably 3 to 5 years, but I definitely see it happening.
There is
I had
no
the
Teen
most-
Titans right now, so
Yeah, I had the most pimp idea of a Damien, like specific roster for the outsiders.
ooh.
Does
But
it
I don't
involve
want to give it away too much.
Bunker and Roundhouse and
It does not involve
Wallace?
well, yeah, no, it does not involve Roundhouse or any of the characters from the Adam Glass run on Teen Titans.
I am completely
Mostly-
not interested in it if you tell me that Stitch doesn't have at least a cameo.
Well, it would be like basically like I mean that's kind of what the outsiders were, but I was thinking like Damien's version of the Secret Avengers. You know,
That would be cool.
I would just need to put because it's not. You're thinking like a
Teen Titans book,
like a
but
Teen Titans kind of flashy team. I was thinking of something more covert.
that would be sick. Do you guys remember that covert ops team that Rom V made?
Yeah, the Vigil.
The Vigil,
yeah.
that's what it
They
was.
should be coming back soon. I imagine it's going to be in New Gods.
Nice.
Possible. Or
Oh,
they could be in
my.
They ended up
recently
in
announced
the
the
Bleed.
Resurrection Man.
Oh
What?
shit! I didn't know
Yeah.
that was happening.
I saw that earlier today. I like it only just popped in my head when you said Rom V, but yeah,
So,
him and Anand RK, same
Oh,
guy who did
damn.
Blue and Green, the book you love. are doing
yes.
Resurrection Man, which I was like, what the fuck? This is so wild, but I love it. What a choice.
It's gonna be so cool. It's gonna drive people nuts because it's gonna go slow and it will be very deep. I can almost guarantee it. But
I mean, was the original Abnett Lanning Resurrection Man book that deep? I can't speak from personal experience because I have not read that much of it, but
I haven't either.
I never got the impression that it was
Rom
all,
V
it's not like
is different.
Gothic literature or something, you know?
Yeah,
I could see
Romney's
it
fucking
leaning-
stellar.
There's a huge
Yeah.
difference between a Tomasi detective book and a Rom V detective book. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, I think that he'll take Resurrection Man in that direction. There's just
funny, 'cause I-
so much potential.
I would have thought him more suitable for something like I Vampire, which could really use
Oh
a good
man.
revival now, but I don't know.
Oh wait, we need an I Vampire and I Zombie crossover. There you go.
How did that not happen? You
Different
know?
spelling or lack of interest? I don't know.
The girl that did I Zombies and Ghosts now. So
Oh.
that'll.
I really
never
want to
happen.
watch that show. I heard
It's
it's really funny.
it's
I've
funny.
seen a couple clips online.
It's
yeah.
really funny. You should check it out. You'll enjoy it. It's totally PG,
I love
but
the
it's funny
concept.
as hell.
Yeah,
No,
of
the,
like
the
ghosts from different periods just living in a house or something.
the funniest part about it, other than the writing and the banter, all of that, but one of the things that walk into it is that every ghost has a ghost power, right?
Yeah.
So those ghost powers involve the ghosts with physical contact for something. So there's a finance bro that's a ghost, and he can physically touch things, right?
Huh.
Thor can affect electricity. There is a hippie named Flower, and if you touch her, you will instantly get stoned.
Oh God. Hell
And
yeah.
then there's a few other ones. I don't want to ruin it for you, but they're
Okay, I
pretty darn
appreciate that.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's when I think I'm gonna
Oh.
once I'm finished watching the middle, I think I'll go to Ghosts. Or I might just do
You
both. I don't
should.
know.
One more thing that is certain to sell you on it, okay? All of these ghosts, most of these ghosts are very old. And so what, obviously the goal for a ghost is to move on to the other side, right?
Mhm.
Well, when that happens, they call it getting sucked off.
Oh my God. That's I don't even know how to respond.
Just watch the show. That's how you respond.
Yeah.
Back to Batman and Robin though. Just about the art real quick. I think some of Fernandez's faces, mostly Damien in costume, really, aren't my cup of tea. The switches between the two artists here, I barely even noticed it as I was reading it. I think this is good. I am super into Batman and Robin. That makes me very happy. The art's good, writing is good, the direction seems good. I'm all aboard. 8.5 out of 10.
Right on. Can I just jump back to the Robin forming a super team discussion? I had an idea as
Absolutely.
well.
I
when we
just
were
wanted
talking
to
about the
finish
Titans
before I
stuff.
forgot to.
Yeah.
How would you guys feel being Young Justice fans if Damian formed his own Young Justice team with, bear with me, so you have Damian, you have
As
John.
leader?
Was there ever really a leader in Young Justice? I mean, technically,
Well,
yeah,
Robin, I guess.
Tim,
Yeah.
Tim, realistically, but like, I
It
was
depends.
my
Are you
book was
talking
more
about
just
the
like they
show
were
or the book?
friends. The book.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So you have Damien, you have John, Kent,
Okay.
you have Wallace,
Okay.
Kid Flash,
Right.
and then you can either have that as the core three, or you can expand the team with Yara Floor and Connor Hawk.
Oh, see, I was going the opposite direction. I was thinking three more people and have it be Connor Hawk, Jackson Hyde, and then oh god dang it. Tell me the people you just said again.
John, Wallace, Damien, Yara, and Connor.
Cassie Sandsmark instead of Yara.
Oh, okay. See, the people I picked, I was trying to have like modern analogs of the original Young Justice teams or team, but also try not to use any of those characters. Like Cassie would be a great, like an obvious choice, really, because it's hard to really pick
I threw
analogs that are young.
Cassie and
point, right?
Jackson in there because I feel like everybody else on the team would need people to rein them in.
Wasn't that part of the fun of Young Justice, though?
Well, yeah, but other part of the fun of Young Justice would be watching those characters start to not need to be reined in.
Yeah.
And as long as we don't start changing costumes to brown, I'd read it.
You know what DC hasn't done in a while?
Challengers of the Unflushed.
What?
Brian Michael Bendis. Sorry. Anyway.
Give someone a black costume. That used to be a comic book trope.
Oh,
Every
you know
few
what
years,
would be?
somebody would get a black costume. Nobody's had one in a while.
You know what would be dope? Is if they added black to the Flash's costume.
Oh God. Kill me.
Poke.
I think we need to go read Joshua Williamson's Flash again and see what a black Flash costume looks like.
You're so mean.
Well, the
Mina
thing is,
Dewan.
that Black Flash costume actually looks cool.
It does.
It
yeah.
I
does,
don't know what
but
the fuck the abomination we
you
currently have
could
is.
fucking pull it up on Google. Not go reread that disappointing book that made me hate a writer.
Like
Hate what a
objectively,
writer
a
did.
Flash costume that is just all black and maybe has like red stripes or something. That
Mhm.
looks kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
except
the
in
weird,
McFarlane
like-
form.
yeah, but the weird uh whatever like black, red, and gold design that they concocted for this recent run is
Fucking
just
weird. I don't even see it
painful.
as black. It's like it's red, gold, and like a darker red.
yeah.
No, it's black, and it's like Donna Troy's pantsuit, whatever.
Let's face it, Wally always wanted to get into those anyway.
And now he has, with the help of the deep change.
Is that deep change for deep costume change? Because
Well, yeah, and that's where he got all his new powers too. Was from the deep change.
god damn it.
Feel
You
the
think deep
feel
change never has
the
problems with
stillness.
payphones.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Yeah, the jokes are getting worse, folks.
The jokes are getting worse. It's time to move on. All right. We are going to have Rob take us through our next book.
We are going to go diving into the deep blue sea, the seven seas, with the sword of water. It's Aquaman #1. Oh my god, it's here.
Finally.
Oh, I
I have missed
this wasn't
you.
even announced that long ago.
Long
Arthur,
last.
I'm so sorry people don't like Kelly Sue DeConnick.
That run wasn't even that bad. Again, like
I liked
comparison
it.
bias. Obviously, the
Yes.
stuff before was better, but that stuff wasn't that bad.
I mean, if you're an Aquaman fan and you didn't at least get the feels from her last issue of
Oh my
Aquaman,
God.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're broken inside. You
Yeah,
need some
that-
therapy.
that last issue was fucking stellar.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it.
very sad, man.
Yeah. But it's time for a new era with writer Jeremy Adams
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
penning the new adventures of the King of the Seven Seas. Artist, sorry, wow, I'm reading the credits as they are. Art by John Timms, colors from Rex Locus, and letters from Dave Sharp, with a cover from John Timms. And what a cover it is! My God.
Indeed.
So
Can
this-
we address the kind of weird, maybe not elephant in the room?
An octopus
What
in the
about
room?
octopus, a large wolf in the room? Because, as we know, the person that you mentioned previously, Jeff Johns, obviously
Yeah.
had a somewhat acclaimed run on Aquaman,
Yeah.
but I would say is probably best known for his work on Green Lantern, which is a
Yeah.
book that Jeremy Adams is also currently writing.
Yes.
Mhm.
But got his start and perhaps wrote one of the best runs of all time on The Flash, a book that Jeremy Adams also wrote.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what you're saying is when
What-
Jeff
Are
Lemire
you
starts with
telling-
JSA.
Are you
Like, what-
telling me
has
that
anyone- has
Jeremy
anyone seen
Adams
the
is a
pattern
clone
here?
of Jeff Jones?
I'm not saying a clone, but I am saying the trajectory is very strange.
Very
It's
good.
weird.
Very
I mean, they-
similar. Very okay with it.
Could be coincidental, but also like Jeremy Adams has worked very closely with Jeff Johns.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rob. That felt a little bit too much like Dirk.
Like what?
Very okay. Very okay with it. Very happy. Like Dirk's from.
Oh.
like Dirk from.
Yeah,
you
it's
know
just
what I'm
you
talking
you
about.
you hit the mute button as you said Dirks and like cut off. I'm like, I didn't know what the fuck you said.
Trying not to cough into the mic.
Wait, what did I say? It was like
Oh.
Dirks.
It's so cold here. Oh.
It's cold there.
Yeah, we're at like 20-degree weather, homie.
Jesus.
We are
Oof.
supposed to get like 6 inches of snow tomorrow.
I didn't even know you had snow down there.
We don't.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but like I have snow too. So like, welcome.
I moved away from Michigan to avoid 6 inches of snow.
There's only so far you can run to. You just can't escape 6 inches.
It's that's what are you laughing at, Brandon? Pervert. All right. Back to
Anywho.
Arthur Curry.
Yes.
Anyway, I just had to point out that
Yeah.
weird comparison because I've seen it mentioned a couple of times, and I'm like, this is odd.
It's interesting. I mean,
And
like I
I
said,
like-
Jeremy Adams and Jeff Johns have worked very closely. I mean, Jeff Johns has been kind of like a writing mentor to Jeremy Adams. He was telling us in
Really?
an interview.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, man, let me
I
tell
just
you.
can't help but wonder. I'm like, what's next? You know,
Yeah.
Teen Titans?
JSA.
Probably not JSA.
I
but
mean, when Jeff
maybe?
Lemire's done with JSA.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, shit. We did just talk about a Teen Titans book, and we
I would be very down for Teen Titans.
we
Or
freaking manifest things just by mentioning them.
or
Would not be surprised if next
Mr.
month.
Mr. Robert Argyle. Or
Yes.
what's the book that Jeff Johns wrote? 2007.
You
The
guys
End of
know
Infinite
that
Crisis.
I guess maybe I completely forgot.
Book that featured artwork from someone that you know.
And
quite love.
Flashpoint Beyond?
no.
I'm just saying. I'm
No,
putting it out there. I'm not
Josh.
saying it will happen.
He's
But
talking about
I
the
can't help
greatest
but
hero
notice all
you've
these
never heard
crossovers.
of.
That's why I'm like, what's next? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The greatest hero you've never heard of.
You know what's even better is that first story arc was called 52 Pickup, and this initiative is called All In. Let's put the fucking chips down and get Jeremy Adams writing Booster Gold.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Yes.
well, I mean, Jeremy Adams was a part of Flashpoint too.
Yeah. Flashpoint Beyond, they co-wrote together.
Yeah, so like, maybe he's like a secret kid or something. But who cares? It's working for me.
Same age.
Secret
Chloe
brother.
would probably be closer.
I keep forgetting who
That was
the
my
third
first
writer
idea.
on that.
Tim Sheridan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 3 of them working together on stuff. Because Tim Sheridan stuff kind of fell apart, I think, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Some of it seemed interesting, but anywho, getting into Aquaman #1.
That's
We
who
also
did
got-
Earth 3 too, right?
Yeah,
Sheridan?
I think so.
Yeah, I haven't forgiven him for that.
Yeah, was a part of that crossover.
I felt that.
Goofy.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were just stretching or what, but like
No,
you
that was-
saying it was how I felt on the inside.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Goddamn War for Earth 3. Anywho. Which, coincidentally, the only chapter of War for Earth 3 written by Jeremy Adams was the only good chapter in the entire fucking book.
Yep. That's funny as hell. Oh man.
It all circles back to Jeremy Adams.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, he is quickly becoming one of my favorite writers. We open up
For sure.
with a look back at various feats of Aquaman, and a little dialogue about who he is, finishing off that this is the story of Arthur Curry, the God Killer, as we open up on a splash page of Arthur fighting a kraken-like monster. And then it jumps to 1 year before, where a plane is falling out of the sky. Both engines are on fire, and it's falling into the ocean. The Coast Guard is making its way to where the crash site's going to be, but then the Coast Guard sees something on radar and realizes that, there's nothing to worry about now. Aquaman's got it. He comes flying right out of the water, lands on the plane. Mira is with him, and it's revealed now that Aquaman has Mira's hydrokinesis. After the events of Absolute Power, her power got transferred to him. So she's coaching him on how to use it. and he is able to feel the water around him, lifting it up into the sky to catch the plane and land it safely in the
Bend
water.
the water, Arthur.
Exactly.
Bend. Sorry.
If Mira is a fucking Katara right now. So the plane lands safely. The Coast Guard is able to help the passengers out, and Aquaman is also able to help with the help of some sea creatures, helping get some people to shore and off the plane. Aquaman is now a little upset because his adventure is over. The people are saved, and there's nothing else to do but go back home to Atlantis, where he has to go back to being a king. He is king once again, and that means lots of endless, boring meetings with politicians. Nobody wants this, least of all Arthur Curry. But before he gets there, he's stopped by Jackson, who mentions he's found a giant pearl that Garth says is magical. He doesn't know anything about it. He just has a bad feeling and figures Arthur should know about it. And if something about a giant pearl sounds familiar, well, we do get a little editor's note text box saying that this same pearl was seen in, coincidentally, Flashpoint Beyond #1, The Flash #785, and The Batman Brave and the Bold #18. All 3 books written by Jeremy Adams.
Yeah, that was the Jackson Hyde Miss Martian team-up story.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, I went back and checked out Flashpoint Beyond #1 and Flash 785 because it's been a long fucking time since I read it. And I didn't read Batman Brave and the Bold, but I went and flipped through that issue. And yet the Pearl is in all 3. Flashpoint Beyond #1, the Pearl is found where Wonder Woman is being, like, Flashpoint Wonder Woman is being held captive, and Thomas Wayne Batman goes in, and a pearl is there. Flashpoint Aquaman is also there, and I believe that's where Wonder Woman kills him. I don't remember now, but essentially Thomas Wayne heads out with the pearl, and as far as I remember, that's the last time we see that pearl.
Which is making me wonder how the hell it's in, New Earth or Earth Prime, considering that, from what I remember, Flashpoint Beyond, weren't they like still in that pocket dimension?
Yeah, it's in the snow globe. Well, here's the interesting thing. That was the last time we saw the Pearl in Flashpoint Beyond, but then the next time we see the Pearl in the Flash 785 is during the search across the multiverse for Barry Allen, where Jesse Quick and Max Mercury, and I think Jay Garrick was also in that universe. They're in the Mad Max kind of universe. And if I remember right, this was a world without water, and they were being chased by Atlanteans.
I don't remember them being chased by Atlanteans.
Well, I gotta double check, but I'm pretty sure the Mad Max kind of people were dressed like Atlanteans, had Atlantean armor on, and the Barry Allen of that world had the pearl, and then the pearl shattered, and a spout of water came out of the ground. Right, and then Brave and the Bold #18, a white Martian is trying to revitalize Mars, and it's surrounded by water, and he's got the pearl. And now it ends up with Jackson. It's hopped across the multiverse.
The Pearl's supposed to be able to revitalize Mars and bring water back to the surface and the whole 9 yards. So apparently this big-ass Pearl is pretty powerful.
I'm trying to find a common factor between the 4 stories now that we've seen it in, and the 4th story being this issue as well, and we'll get more into what the pearl means later on in this issue, but the common factor I'm seeing here is water. Right,
which, would make sense.
That's really the only common factor. But we get back to that a little bit later. Arthur is stuck in his boring day as king until someone shows up and says there is trouble. So he takes off his crown and heads out to Daytona Beach, Florida, where a giant aquatic monster, basically a hydrokinetic kaiju, is just laying waste to the beach.
It's no worse than Pike Week. Tona has seen worse, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. So Arthur rushes in there and using his hydrokinesis after a bit of a tough fight is able to dissipate this water creature into a ball and it falls apart back into the ocean. Um, and as that fight finishes, he hears Mira scream his name, so he swims the fastest he could possibly can back to Atlantis just in time to see a blinding flash of light and looks to find Atlantis is gone. The only thing that remains is this pearl, which is now glowing and humming. So he takes the pearl to the Justice League Watchtower to find Batman. He finds Batman and Wonder Woman, and they task Zatanna with investigating this pearl. She reveals that she's never seen anything like it, but it is something very powerful and very ancient. But she does not know anything else beyond that. Um, However, she does know that some of the magic that is connected to is very, very ancient to even before the beginning of time. And the vibrations that are coming off it seem very similar to one point that she's seen in the ocean. So he heads out with Batman and Wonder Woman, no less, to this point of kind of origin, I'd say. That's Zatanna pointed them out to. It's some kind of weird circular construction on a pedestal, a stone pedestal, which is at this point surrounded by coral and aquatic plant life. Arthur says that the pearl is glowing even more and sends the pearl into the circle. So it heads there straight fast, and once it touches the circle, there's a explosion, and the circle turns into a portal. Arthur says he has to go in because it could lead to Atlantis. No matter what's on the other side, he needs to investigate. So as he heads through the portal, there's another blinding flash of lights as Batman and Wonder Woman look on. The coral and plant life burn away, and all that's left is a red glowing omega symbol. It was no circle. It was really an omega symbol all along. And that is where the issue ends.
Yep.
I don't even know where the fuck this is going to go.
Boom.
All I know is I'm stoked.
Pretty solid start.
Yeah. Jeremy
Look like-
Evans has
For
been
myself.
building to this story for 3 fucking years, and we had no clue.
Mm-hmm.
Art,
Nice work.
fantastic. The story is very interesting. It's a great first issue. It's a reintroduction to the character, bring us up to speed about where he's been, what he's doing, and giving us a fantastic premise for a new adventure for Aquaman. Even teasing what's to come. Arthur Curry, the God Killer, and fighting some giant, like, squid monster a year from now.
Well, let's look at things here.
All right.
I mean, okay, so not to cut you off, but we're talking about it here. We saw that the portal that he went through was an omega symbol.
Yes.
So where do you think that portal's going to take him?
Well, that's the thing. Like,
I think it's going to take him to the absolute universe.
I was going to say that, but this thing is ancient, right? This portal clearly has, this omega symbol has clearly been there for a very long time, and the absolute universe has existed for maybe a month.
Wait a second. Oh, I want to say there was reference to this months ago about, or maybe that was Mars. Hold on. I got to look stuff up.
Okay. The else world existed when it was still a dead world. So I guess it could have a connection there. It could go to Apocalypse.
That's what I
Could
was
go
thinking.
to Atlantis's past.
Could go to
That's personally what I'm
Atlantis'
hoping
past.
for.
It could just be a hop across the multiverse to different
Yeah.
right? So honestly, who fucking knows?
I really just want to see
yeah,
Arthur team up with Orion, Lord of Atlantis.
yo,
Hasn't done
that'd be
that
so
already.
cool.
So I just looked it up, and he's never been directly involved in stories on Apocalypse, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, no, there's no
So,
water.
so
It's very
this
hot.
would be an interesting place to take him. But the problem with sending him to Apocalypse is there's no gods left there, is there?
I mean, there's
I mean, he
So the remaining
raised.
Apocalyptians, yeah.
yeah,
Like, you know, all
there's
the
dark
other-
side's lackeys.
But
Yeah,
would
like
you
all the, I
refer to
assume
them?
Granny's
Calabac's
still there,
dead.
Calabac's still
Yeah,
there.
but Granny's still
No,
there.
Calabac is dead.
Yeah, Calabac got killed off.
Yeah, by Darkseid.
Oh, that's right. I
Yeah.
totally forgot about the DC special. Well, yeah, I guess
Yeah,
dead.
but
in
like
quotation marks.
Steppenwolf is still there.
Yeah.
Desaad is still there. Granny Goodness is still there.
Would you call any of those gods, though?
I mean, I think
They're
Steppenwolf is
technically by-
technically a god.
Yeah, they are by definition new gods.
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
Desaad is kind of suspect on like that's up for interpretation, I would say. But Granny Goodness and Steppenwolf for sure, I think are considered new gods.
Fair enough. I'm probably just blanking the hell out. They are they are new gods. I'm a dummy. Okay, continue your review. Sorry for interrupting you there.
That's pretty much all I got. Like, there's not much you can really talk about with this issue because it's really just a whole big mystery now. There's
All right.
there's not much to say apart from the art stellar. And the
How
story
about
is
they
fantastic.
sent Aquaman in the Darkseid's realm with like zero warning
Well,
wherever they're
that's the
like,
thing, we don't
bro,
even
that's an
know."
Omega symbol.
Yeah, but that's all we
yeah.
know. We could
They're
stay
supposed
here
to
and
be
speculate
friends.
for 20 minutes.
We could, but the fact that they're in front of it and they don't know where it leads, Batman and Wonder Woman both saw that it was an Omega symbol, and they're like, "Yeah, man, good luck. Go ahead."
Well, didn't it transform
backup
after he
symbol?
went into the
Yeah,
pearl?
they
Am I
didn't know
misremembering?
it was an
Yeah.
Omega symbol until after he went through it.
Mhm. So I was like, "Oh, Arthur, are you sure about this?" And he's like, "No, it'll be fine. I'm just gonna go in
Yeah.
the pearl."
I'm gonna go in.
Flash, and then it's like, "Oh shit!
Yeah.
Well, too late now."
Yep.
Yeah, because the
Oh,
very
no.
last page.
Yep. No, you're
appears, and
right.
then
Yeah, you're right.
Diana's
You're-
like, Bruce
you're
was like,
right.
"Yeah, I see it." Fuck.
See,
The man on the mountain, the prophecy, the blue.
The blue, yes, I forgot to mention that. The blue sounds very enticing. Wouldn't you agree?
Could be referring to just water. Matter of
Could
fact,
also
in the
be-
south here,
A parliament.
well, all over the place, in a lot of places. I mean, like, you call a swimming place a blue hole.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. It could be a parliament. Who
That would be sick.
was it
That would be
did-
so flipping cool.
Hang the fuck on. Let me
Oh my
look something
God.
up. Hang on. Future State Aquaman.
wasn't that Brandon Thomas?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it was Brandon Thomas. Yeah, because wasn't that didn't that kind of mention something about the blue?
I remember there was what was it called? It was like the convergence of water. It was like
Something like that.
the idea that there were oceans across the
Yeah.
universe or multiverse that were all
Yes.
tied together.
Yeah.
at one
Yes.
focal
Oceans
point.
can. Yep. Oh my God. You're right.
Yes. But that
Oceans connected everything, and they were all over the place. And Jackson and Andy were the ones sailing it, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
But that always to me felt like a parliament, like the green, the rot, the red, etc.
I'm down.
Yeah, just no one ever did anything with it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
Maybe Jeremy Adams will.
I
Yeah.
hope so. Yeah, it was a cool idea.
Call it the water web. Nice.
Yeah. Well, that's like that sounds interesting. The blue, and that's really all I have to go on. But like another question I have is, where did this water kaiju come from? How did that
Yeah.
happen? Somebody else clearly has hydrokinesis and is using it for nefarious purposes, but who, what, where, and why? Who knows?
Mhm.
Maybe, just maybe, it was Jackson to get Arthur out of the city because he knew the Pearl was going to do something bad. I don't know.
Could be.
Could all be bullshit. I don't know. But all I know is like there's so many questions, there's no answers to the first issue. It's just very fucking exciting. I loved it. 9.25 out of 10.
Awesome. I don't know that I have as much to add as you, but I did really enjoy this one. A very solid issue. Did kind of feel like a setup issue, I guess, in that it's like, okay, Arthur has the hydrokinesis. Arthur is back as the ruler of Atlantis, and he hates it, which I thought that was kind of funny, and I hope that they don't lose that plot thread because I feel
Me
like
too.
one thing that we never really get enough of. We get glimpses of it, and occasionally you'll have the politics of Atlantis be a plot point, but you never actually see Arthur's day-to-day process as king of Atlantis. I don't know. Yeah, it could be a one shot or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely interested to see where this mystery will lead. I hope it is one that does not overstay its welcome, in that it doesn't give itself away too soon, but it's not like, issue 20, Arthur is still looking for Atlantis. Unless it's written incredibly well, but I feel like that aspect could get old, or it'll just end up being like Superman 4 tomorrow. So yeah, solid stuff. Really love the characterization on Arthur so far, and just looking forward to wherever the hell this mystery is going to go next. So I gave this one 8.75 out of 10.
Right on.
I was so mistaken. Oh, dang it, I just closed it. There we go. Oop. Yeah. Written by Jeff Johns, Justice League number 6. The relaunch, obviously. Aquaman does go toe to toe with Darkseid and messes him up.
Hell yeah.
But was your question whether or not he'd been an Apocalypse, or just if he fought Darkseid?
It was whether or not he'd been on Apocalypse, but then I
Okay.
said I don't think he'd even fought Darkseid, so
Right.
I was wrong. You know what wasn't wrong though? The creative team behind this dang book.
Right?
That giant ass octopus on the first page looks so incredibly good. It seems like such a good story. The art is fantastic. But am I the only one that... Is it just me, or does Jackson Hyde look like a hippie that mows lawns for a living? He doesn't look like
Is he not?
he doesn't look like normal Jackson Hyde.
Yeah, it looks a little different.
He looks a lot different. I feel like I'm looking at Connor Hawk with dreadlocks.
His dreads look definitely longer.
His whole face looks different.
I don't know, man. That's John Timms.
I guess. That didn't. Anyway, I liked it a lot, and despite my problem with the way that Jackson looks, I'm gonna give it an 8.25 out of 10.
Right on.
Oh yeah.
For sure. How did we make an episode about 2 issues last the same length as a 8-issue show?
Never doubt our ability to get off topic.
Yeah.
Amen, brother.
I don't think we even talked about wrestling this episode.
We didn't. We talked about at the very beginning.
Yeah.
We talked about Undertaker's dong,
Yeah.
the bell. We talked about the bell. Dong.
Look, I never knew why he was a locker room leader. All I know is it makes sense.
Jesus Christ. All right. With that, let's go. Top 3. What you got?
Well, at number 2, I only read 2 books this week. Fucking no.
I'm right there with you, buddy.
Yeah.
I only read 5,
I haven't
but
even read Dark
I've
Tower.
only read 5 DC books. Anyway.
Yeah, number 2, I'm going to put Batman and Robin. Number 1, I'm going to put Aquaman. Number 3, question mark, question mark, question mark. Number 4, Prophet. That's
What about a favorite moment?
for me, it's going to be the last page of Aquaman, because that just opens up so many fucking avenues for story, and
boy.
got me so goddamn stoked for
Right.
what Jeremy Adams has in store for us.
You and me both. What about you,
I
Brandon?
forgot to mention in my Batman
Oh.
and Robin review, sorry.
How do we last
Is-
3 hours?
Is Memento going to be where Philip Kennedy Johnson brings in Olgren?
What?
I was thinking about that, but I could see. I mean, I don't think he'll do it.
No.
But do you remember? Do you remember the final story arc of Action Comics, where they go to that evil dark multiverse universe, where it's like the children of Bruce and Talia, like the All Ghul Empire?
Oh yeah,
Empire of
yeah.
that.
forgot about.
I think it would be a little too like sci-fi dimension heavy, but I was thinking like, because I noticed there was the Ra's al Ghul mention in this issue of Batman and Robin. I was like,
Yeah,
I just know, yeah, I just know in his mind, Philip Kennedy Johnson has a Ra's al Ghul story, a la Olgren, up his sleeve, and so I'm
somehow.
wondering how that may factor in. Like Memento could be the opening salvo of, the great Ra's al Ghul retaliation or something, but that's just fanciful thinking.
Sounds good though.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Brandon, your top.
My top two. Let's see. I had at number 2 Batman and Robin, and number 1 Aquaman, and number 3 fucking I don't know. Well, I said I've been reading a lot of Bleach, so Bleach is going to be number 3. There you go.
Fair enough.
And my favorite moment is probably the final page of Batman and Robin, honestly. I'm a sucker for a dynamic splash page.
You and me both. You and me both. All right. Well, because I read all of the books DC put out this week, I do actually have 3. I'm going to have to borrow one from the other show. But if you're not reading it, you definitely should. Batman Dark Patterns is freaking awesome. Then second place, I'm going to go with Aquaman. First place, I'm putting Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin was just fantastic. I loved Aquaman. It squeaked by just a little bit more. My favorite moments are going to be, I got 2. One, of course, is the splash page with Jason and Bruce. The other is it's the crazy panel to credits page of Batman and Robin. It's full of action. It looked wicked cool the way that they did that. I really liked that. I thought that was awesome.
Right on.
Nice.
All right. Well, just as a reminder, our other show, The Honorable Mentions, All In on DC, I'll be covering Dark Patterns #2 and DC versus Vampire World War V #6. I am telling you guys, World War V is nuts. Oh, so good. I saw someone get squished to death. And
I don't know if I want to read this now.
it's good. It's so good. It's so
Did you
so
read
good.
the original DC versus Vampires?
Oh yes, 100%. Yep.
Rob, did you read the
Yeah,
DC
yeah.
versus Vampires?
Yeah. Just between that and 3 different deceased books and like Dark Knights of Steel, I think I've had enough of just watching my favorite characters get brutally murdered over and over
I
again.
get that.
What if I told you that the entire world is ruled by one person, and that person is Barbara Gordon?
Well, I like I said, I read DC versus Vampires. I know.
Oh,
Which I'll be honest, that ending kind of left a bad taste in my mouth.
really?
Yeah, I thought that was
Yeah.
kind of stupid.
It was, obvious.
It picks
I hate
it picks
using that
perfectly
term,
up.
but yeah.
I just
It feels
Barbara
like-
Gordon was in the Resistance the entire 12 issues, and then makes her way. She's the only one that can kill Nightwing, and she gets there and just lets herself get turned and kills him anyway, and then becomes a vampire queen. What? Like, Damien fought against his urges enough to be on the Resistance. You were fighting to save the planet. You get bit by Nightwing once, and now all of a sudden you kill him and you want to take over the army? Like, what happened to save the planet?
Well, Damien's got a lot stronger will than Barbara does.
I somehow I can't believe that.
What? You're crazy.
Barbara has a lot of willpower.
Not more than Damien.
It doesn't
She
have
ain't
to be more
Bruce's
than
kid.
Damien. She could still have like epic willpower.
She does.
Yeah.
But not enough to ever earn a Green Lantern ring. And next week, we are covering Nightwing 122, Action Comics 1082, Titans 19, The New Gods 2, The Question All Along the Watchtower 3, Challengers of the Unknown 2. Guys, buy that book. Buy that book. I can tell that the sales aren't good because a month later, we're still getting backups of it trying to advertise the thing. The Challengers of the Unknown is enjoyable.
Yeah.
Also, Green Lantern Fractured Spectrum #1. I'm so looking forward to that. Batman, Superman, World's Finest 35. Black Lightning 3. Sparks #6. Milestone Universe, The Shadow Cabinet #3. Batman and Robin, Year 1 #4. Catwoman 72, and finally The Nice House by the Sea #5. And if you aren't reading that, you are missing out.
Is it a nice house though?
Oh, it's a very
Is it?
nice house.
Yeah.
Really?
It's a very nice house.
I mean, the people may not be very nice, but it is a nice house itself.
Oh,
Are you
nice
are
house
you
by
reading this one?
The lake was ultimately not that nice at the end.
Well, I'm
Still
talking
pretty
about
nice
I'm
house.
talking about the house itself, not the situation.
The aesthetic,
situation
the
is not very
foundations, the bones of the house.
If
the
you
aes-
look at the house,
aesthetic.
Yeah,
like
the
you were
bones
just to
in the
walk up
house.
to it, you'd be like, "This is a nice looking house." But when you found out what happened to the rest of the world, you would be like, "Well, it's still a nice house, but I hate my life." So
Yeah.
I think that's
Walter. Are you reading Nice House by the Sea?
I am,
Brandon?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, of course.
good deal,
I
good
plan
deal.
to, but I
I-
cannot press enough how long my pull list is right now. I need to catch up.
Yeah, don't tell me.
I'll tell you like I've
I-
told my little brother before. There's no excuse to fall behind on comic books when they're all available digitally and you go to the bathroom. You can knock out 2 per trip.
You got me there. I've been trying. I haven't even read the last 2 issues of Transformers.
Wow.
I
Okay,
have not
all
read
right.
it since issue 13, which is the Starscream origin issue.
Yeah, that's the
I
last one
feel
I
very
I
behind.
read. Yeah.
uh, I don't know what's going on. Not even that I like dislike the book now. It's just my drive to read has diminished. I haven't even read GI Joe 2 yet.
That was
Like
really
the second
good.
issue.
Yeah.
I read the first issue. I still haven't read the second issue.
Second issue was stellar.
Yeah, trust me. If you're behind, I'm behind too.
Yeah.
I haven't caught up on Geiger. I'm behind on Redcoat. Couple of
I've
other-
not even started Redcoat.
Yeah.
What do my to
Not
read
enough
list is
time.
insane.
Too many comics, not enough time.
Yeah.
And those are just books that are currently coming out. I haven't even the fucking pile of trades and floppies that I've amassed in the past year is too big. It's gotten too big.
I need to catch up. I need to catch up on Uncanny, catch up on Ultimate Black Panther. Try to get into X-Men, X Factor, X Force. I want to check all these out because I hear such good things. But then at the same time, I'm still reading Thundercats. I am trying to pick to Red Sonja from Gail Simone. Space Ghost is still going on.
Like the old Red Sonja by Gail Simone.
Yes, I'm trying to
Oh,
read the
dude.
entire thing. I want the whole
Yeah.
thing.
You gotta pull a me and just do an all nighter, binge through that thing.
There's
Only
no
18
other.
issues, but it is.
It's 505 pages.
I did that years ago. I'm talking like 8th grade when I was aggressively horny, but was pleasantly surprised by the story. Yeah, no, that is. I think I can still remember reading because like the first trade I picked up in the library, I was like, oh, this is really good. Even though picking it up for other purposes was my original intent, but the last 2 like issues, I guess 7 through 18, that was like I just marathoned that shit, and it was great.
Sorry, what book was this?
This is Red Sonja from
Red Sonja.
Dynamite. It's like 2013, I think.
Right.
In
definitely worth a read.
2019, right?
Was it 19?
Oh no, that's when the omnibus came out. That's what I'm reading it in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Is that Gail Simone?
yeah, the
Yeah,
bear,
Gail Simone, Walter
that was the
Giovanni.
one, yeah.
Gail
Yeah.
the Bear Simone.
The first arc is fucking awesome, dude. Oh my god. I still get like goosebumps thinking about that. If you ever wanted to see Red Sonja as a commander, there you go. And also she fights against what's her name? It's just a really great story. I don't
Jack
wanna even get into
Jadson
too
and
much
Walter
spoilers.
Giovanni.
Walter Giovanni's the artist, I think.
Yeah. Jack Jadson. He's also listed as a penciler. I don't know who. I've never heard of him before, but
I didn't
anyway,
recognize that.
neither here nor there.
That book is awesome.
So I got a lot to read too, man. All right. I can't let Rob down, though. If I show up next week and I haven't read Ultimate Spider-Man, he's going to put out a Canadian hit on me, which is
Gotta
basically
read it.
just giving you a hug and dousing you in maple syrup. But still,
No. It's a snowball.
it's a snowball.
Yeah.
I've already got snow on the way.
Yeah. Okay.
Horrible, horrible,
Canadian
horrible.
Hitman is a snowball with a bit of ice in it.
A snowball with a bit of ice in it. That's just mean.
You won't die,
I thought it would have been like
but it's gonna hurt really bad.
I bought you some tickets to a hockey game, but I'm not gonna give them to you.
No, that's just fucking mean.
Buy some tickets to a hockey game, but it's the Maple Leafs and it's in the nosebleeds.
Oh.
No!
No. You want to go watch the Senators? Here's a parking lot pass. Boo. All right. We are just full of horrible jokes, and we can continue, but we feel like maybe we should save some for next week. Thank you, everybody out there, for watching and or listening later. We'll be back next week covering all of DC's weekly releases. Same geek time, same geek channel, and stay tuned for the Honorable Mention show. That is the end of this one. We're getting out of here, so you'll have to as well. Be careful out there, and remember, in the Geek Matrix, everybody has a home. In the Geek Matrix, you are not alone.